So I'm completely delighted to be with you today. And what I'm hoping happens, since the audience is mostly men, is that you learn a lot, because there is a lot to learn about what women want, how they spend, how we serve them now, and what we can do that would be better. And how better will lead to share gain, higher levels of sustained profitability, and a different business position. Over the next 5 years, women in the world undoubtedly will earn $5 trillion incremental to what they're earning today. In the United States, that number will be $800 billion. Incremental income, bigger than any bailout package, and larger than the growth in China and India combined over the next 5 years. Big companies around the world have all these programs where they're trying to segment the market. They've decided that they're going to go after Hispanics, or they're going to go after African Americans, or they're going to invest in China and India, attempting to get a leg up on competition. I say false hope. Yes, you should do those things, but the primary market power is female, and you ignore her. So even in the major packaged goods companies, there is not a granular understanding, a deep understanding of behavior at home. There is no one who is watching the pantry and saying what goes in, what goes out, and why. There is nobody who's saying, I can have impact on habituation. So when you ask women what do they want three things. They want more time. They want time leverage. They are desperate to have suppliers come to them and help them on the matter of time, and I'll explain that in a minute. They want more money, and by that they mean more value. So they are willing to spend more money on better groceries, better education for their children, to make themselves more beautiful. But you got to give them a reason. And you have to be inside their head, and you actually have to love them. If you don't love them, you will get nowhere with them, because by and large, they don't like brands. You got to engage them. And then the third thing they do want more love. Roughly a third of the female population feels very unloved. A significant percentage of the population is frustrated and feeling powerless. If you're the supplier that reaches across the table and says, I care about you, I will help you, you can make a lot of money. These are the categories where women have serious dissatisfactions. So investments, cars, banking, life insurance, physicians, car insurance, work clothes, hospitals, personal computers, and lodging. Those are the top 10. There are 3 categories in particular that women around the world are furious about. They're furious about financial services because the men who control the financial services world ignore women, and they have no sense of the emerging wealth that women control. When a couple comes in to speak with a financial services investment advisor, the investment advisor, who is typically a male, spends all his time focused on him, and he ignores her. It's the biggest opportunity out there in financial services. In healthcare, she controls healthcare spending for herself, for the kids, for her parents, for his parents, and just a tiny little bit for him because he doesn't like to see doctors. The biggest diss in healthcare is around time. So if you're a working mother and your kid has a bad cold or cough or needs some medical attention, you call the doctor's office and you make an appointment. You take the whole morning off from work. It costs you money. You arrive there for your 9 o'clock appointment. At 11:15, you still haven't seen the doctor because the doctor hasn't figured out time-based competition, has not figured out, in fact, that consumers are willing to pay a price premium for services that are delivered on time. So what are we going to try and do for our clients? It is very simple. 4-step process. 1, recognize how big this opportunity is. And when I say recognize, I don't mean just wake up and recognize it. I mean count it. I mean actually figure out manually what is the current size of the female market that you're serving. What is the segmentation? How many are there? What is the open white space? So recognize is capital R. Second, define a research agenda that is broad in scope and actionable. Think about what that research agenda represents and what do you need to know? What are the major dissatisfactions? What is the user and uses? And what are the ways to really crack it, right? What are What are the out-of-the-box options that can change in product innovation, in merchandising, in communication? Do not do what Dell Computer did. Effectively, what Dell Computer did was put a computer in a pink box and provide an easy way to distribute recipes. If you do that, women get mad. Don't do the stupid response. So it is, these first two steps, recognize and research, are really requiring a lot of thought, a lot of investigation. How much should you spend? You should move your innovation budget, you should move your research budget 80% to be really focused on the pinpoint opportunity. To take what you're currently doing and effectively throw it out the window, because what you're doing is you're doing general population research. Have visions of who she is. She has ambition, she has hopes, and she has dreams. You can provide her with new things. You can take a larger percentage of her disposable budget. You can help her solve the issue of what is the appropriate savings rate. It is not about just doing the research for research self. It's to get ideas that will break the market. And then respond. And respond is not a single salvo. Respond is a continuous attack. It's a continuous attack to deliver to the promise and then get it better and better and better. This is the data on time. So the bottom one is the most important one, I think. I get by in 5 hours of sleep or less. You really need more sleep. But we have 12, 13, 15%, 16% of big populations of women getting by in 5 hours of sleep or less. We have most women working full-time at work and working full-time at home. This is amazing data. I've never seen this anywhere, but this is the data on how much time do women with young children spend doing things. What I would draw your attention to is the 90th percentile. So we have about 10% of the world's women with young children who are spending 35 hours a week on their children, an extraordinary amount of time. This is the triple time challenge. I have too many demands on my time and too much to do. I want you to look at the right-hand side of this thing and shared or sole responsibility for chores. Grocery shopping, child care, meal prep, laundry, cleaning, household administration. It is on her shoulders. Suppliers that recognize the triple time challenge earn $1 billion. So, what do you want to do? I want your clients, I want you to have a comprehensive understanding of the female economy. That's it. There is no question you have to do this. So what are the segments? What are the big dissatisfactions? And what are the unmet needs? And what are you going to do about it? It's about understanding motivations. It's about understanding the critical drivers of purchase. It's about insight into behavior. It's about responding to the latent dissatisfactions. And they're huge, right? Every category, you can develop a quite elaborate list of dissatisfactions, and you can create a program for response. It's not all in the first year. It's about a continuous flow of innovation. It's about looking at a recession as opportunity. It's the senior management rank that has to basically align. The senior team has to say, we're going to take this opportunity, we're going to understand this challenge, we're going to rip it apart, and we're going to respond. So right at the bottom here, I say 4 logical activities at your company. So size the prize, create the next wave of time-based competition, understand, respond to what are the most attractive segments. I would say that for most companies, it could be the top of the market, this thing that we call the fast tracker who has lots of money, and change the selling function. So the first moment of truth where the consumer engages with the product.